We are live. We are live, my guy. What's up, man? What's up, guys? Y'all know what's up. I'm Jay Money. That's my guy. That's my guy, the Shark, man. The Shark, Sharky Wire of the Nation. Ride the wave or get out of the water, man. What's up, my guy? Everything good with you, bro?
9 words of lifestyle, baby. Ride the wave and get out of the water. Dude, I'm hyped. It's Saturday afternoon, the day before the Super Bowl. We have a huge NBA card. We're looking for a bounce back, I think, not only from yesterday for everybody, the whole season. You made the comment numerous times. It's been a tough season. We got all sorts of roster sketchiness. We got weird back-to-backs. We got baseball-style scheduling with the team playing each other 2 nights in a row in a mini series. It's all over the place. I think we want to just dive right in and keep people right in the streets. Let's talk some Orange Globe NBA Pro Basketball.
Exactly. Yeah. And so you guys know I just did the show, NBA show from SBR. So I was trying to do the show. I was trying to get my guy on the show with me today, but I wasn't able to. So I decided to go on here with him on my show. I always like talking basketball with him. Hopefully try to get him on the show with SBR, man, full time. So we weren't able to get him this morning. So that's why I said I got to go on live with my guy. He one of the sharpest guys in NBA I know, man. And it's time to get on the road. It's time for these sharp sides to get back rolling, bro. I know with you, it's a lot of stuff been going on in the NBA. We've been taking it easy, you know what I'm saying, taking breaks, trying to find these spots, bro. I know I was telling people on the other show that it's so tough right now, man. I'm putting my glasses on too. Yeah, no, it's tough right now, bro. Trying to figure out what the hell everything going on. But yeah. So what you want to get to this first game, my guy? This first game, we got this Nuggets versus Kings spot. I know I saw you talk about that one. What you liking here with the Nuggets here?
You know, when I look at cards, oftentimes I try to skip the matinees because I think it's just another element. These guys are not used to playing at 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. It's just another thing to consider. However, when I looked at this very loosely, the first thing I noticed, which is what I target historically and in the present, we have a double revenge game. The Kings have already beaten the Nuggets twice this season. They beat them in the opener, then they beat them at home about a week later, 125-115. In that particular game in Sacramento, in what was a revenge game there, Denver actually only laid 2.5 points. And when you really look at numbers here, and you look at the way Vegas scales these environments, when you lose to a team twice and you lay 7.5 at home and then it comes down 5 in the other stadium, then you come back again in the other stadium and it comes up to 3.5. I scale this professionally. I've done it for 10 years. This is the exact number you want. When they are coming back up in an average where it's been in a real bottom out area for Denver in 2 prerequisite matchups, this is really a box checker. And then you look at what Denver did last game. They did completely lay down in the second half at Staples. We know when LeBron wants the ball, he gets those guys juiced. They can blow anybody out. It's what happened. And you take the other side of this game, really interesting point. Sacramento had all sorts of sketchiness going on in preseason, early season. Marvin Bagley's dad disputing some crap on the internet with De'Aaron Fox's dad. Who knows what's going on there? However, they have won 5 out of the last 6 games. They are hot, and they are coming off of a very impressive win against the Celtics at home. I think it's a letdown spot, double revenge for the Nuggets. Sign me up.
Yep, Nuggets much better team. I'm with you there. I wanted to wait for Murray there. I feel like it's gonna be really tough for me to take the Nuggets there without Jamal Murray. He is questionable with a knee. Campazzo is questionable as well off the bench, where he's their point guard off the bench. So both of their point guards are kind of banged up here. I need both of those guys, at least for sure. Murray, they can get it done without Campazzo. They got Monte Morris. You know what I'm saying? Gary Harris still up, which is questionable, but they got Morris over there. They got Barton, so they got a couple other guards, but they really need Murray out there, man. They get Murray in here, I'm riding with your ass for sure. I like the Nuggets. That's what I told them on the SBR show. You got the double revenge spot for the Nuggets here, man. Kings, they've been balling, but we know that the Nuggets are a much better team. Nobody really to stop Jokic down low. They really could do it. Like you say, earlier in the year when the Nuggets weren't playing good, that's when the Kings caught them on that. You know what I'm saying? The Kings, that was earlier when the Nuggets were looked terrible. They weren't used to their roster. Now they're well in tune. Their offense is nice. They're playing some defense. If Murray's in here, I'm definitely riding with you on that. Maybe it is. People know something there. It's going up to 3 to that 3.5 there. So it's kind of crazy, even with him being being questionable, the fact that they're 3.5. Maybe some people expect him to play. It's a Nuggets type of day here. I mean, they played a really good first half versus the Lakers. I mean, they were up 10-12 at the half versus the Lakers, and you just got throttled in that second half. They should come into this one pissed off. They're a much better defensive team than the Kings. You need to stop. You stop Fox, and you can stop the Kings pretty much. So that's what I like your Nuggets look here, especially with the double revenge, with the possible letdown for the Kings. All of that, everything sets up well for the Nuggets here. In my opinion, bro.
One other comment I said on Twitter every day of the week. Our man Sean Puffy Combs divorced from J-Lo about 20 years ago. He's a world traveler. He travels the U.S. in private jets. And, Jamal Murray might be out. And I think, Diddy's on the call. He might charter a flight to Sacramento at 4:50 p.m. Rock could be on ice, baby.
I don't know why this is hilarious every time you say it. But you know what? Every single time you've said it, it's damn near cashed, man. It's crazy. With that Blazers, I really wanted to hop on that one, man. I thought that was one where the 76ers could still kill them with Embiid in. And, I mean, there was just if there was any game to show you the epitome of that, it was that game for sure. Blazers win that game with Simon. I mean, even Simon's, I'm not a fan of him as an NBA player, but even him was on a 20 minutes restriction. And they still go out there and smack him by. They could have won that game by 30 over the 76ers, man. And one guy gonna try to tell me it was because Ben Simmons was out. Man, stop that, bro. It's this total mindset. They didn't come to play. It's simple. It wasn't because Ben Simmons was out, man. Come on, bro.
And Simmons is not their juice point anyway. He's not the dude that's up in the locker room.
Exactly.
I mean, I don't even know who their guy is, really, when it comes down to it. Maybe Embiid. I think Embiid's a little bit sketchy.
He's their guy.
He's a big ball, but
trust me, Embiid's their guy. Like he's their guy by far. If Embiid's not on the team, like they're literally a totally different squad. Their offense runs totally different without him. Just a tricky team, man. Tricky team. But I want to go to this. Do you have some on this Bulls versus Magic spot? We know this is a revenge spot for the Bulls. I like the Bulls yesterday. We know that when they come through, it was really a spot really where it's not a good spot for them, where a team is coming off a home stand, where they where it's 5-6 games at the house and then first game in new arena. But I always like to think when they didn't have a good home stand, then they may be looking to get, away from the house. Maybe it'll get them refocused. I kind of think that the Bulls will kind of get some revenge here. I know I hate to say it, it's not just that, but I think they're a better team. The Orlando's still missing Gordon over there. They're missing a lot of players. What you think in this particular spot?
I had the same reaction initially. I want to take Chicago. The only issue I had here is I look at the line again. They were laying 2.5 last game. Now they're laying 1. And this applies to all sports. In a revenge game, if the weighting is scaling towards the revenge team, it signifies a lot of strength. This is coming towards Orlando. And I was really looking at a lot of dynamics. And I look at in the box and outside of the box type of stuff, small window and large window. There's 4 teams that are highly undervalued large window. Dallas, Toronto, Miami, and Orlando. Playoff-style teams and playoff teams that are absolutely flat. So ultimately, yes, you are buying low on Chicago here in a small window matchup, but Orlando from the other side of it in a large window is really due to come up continuously. And I think you're looking at potentially just a real big, large-scale buy in Orlando here. And I just don't like where the line's moving. I really wish this was holding at 2.5. I wish that Vegas said, okay, we're going right back to where we were yesterday. We expect Chicago to come in there and win by 3 to 5 points. They're saying, even though they lost, they should be more motivated. No, we're coming towards Orlando here. Orlando might just blow them out again, to be honest.
Exactly. But Sharp, the main thing that I'm looking at here, and I know that there's something that's really sharp looking at that line. In theory, the line did open up at 2.5. It's the money it was the money that shaped it up. So I actually, because it's ever since the first time I heard you say that, it's definitely something that I look at. Orlando could win this game again. I do think that the Bulls are the better team. They're the more healthier team right now. They're not necessarily playing in good form, and that's the thing that kind of gives me some trepidation where it's on. But yeah, the line initially opened at 2.5. It just got bet down the Magic to -1. Then to +1 for the Magic. Now it's back up to 1.5 for the Bulls. So initially that money came back in, which what you're saying, the sharp bidders came in, but at least from the Vegas side, they did number it at the 2.5. And so actually the game yesterday opened at a pick. The money took it to Bulls -2, closing -2.5. So I actually, that line initially was at pick, and then got hammered up to -2, closed at 2.5. Today's game is actually opened up at Bulls -2.5, and then went down to -1 for Bulls, back up to 1.5. So I still think that this is a sharp play for the Bulls here. I think the Bulls get the job done over the Magic. I know the Magic were a playoff team last year. Vucic had to go out for a career high. He had like 43 points and 19 rebounds. I see Chicago coming in, focusing in on him, make the rest of the team beat him. Cole Anthony and Fournier, I'm taking Kobe White and Levine over those two any day. So that's really what it comes down to. Vucic, you're gonna need Gafford. I wish they had Wendell Carter Jr. here, but you're gonna need Thaddeus Young. You're gonna need Gafford to keep up with him. He's one of the top 3 centers in the league. Nobody really talks about him, but I know that he's a baller. They got to keep up with him tonight. If they hold Vucic even to around 20-25, I think that they'll get this job done. It's a tight game. Bulls haven't looked well, but I do think they're the better team than the Magic, in my opinion.
That's honestly, I miss that. The one thing that I don't really look at as a capper, I don't really look at market splits in terms of public versus sharp. I try to just get in the lab myself, and then I'll pay attention to that later, because you can really mess up your head if you start tailing, the sharps or not, and then the sharps miss, and then you're all over the place. And that's more of just like a large scale comment to more novice cappers on try to do your own homework first. But that being said, that's a really interesting point. If the opening line yesterday was pick, and then it comes up 2.5 in the revenge spot on the road, this actually would signify strength for the Bulls here in that case.
Exactly. Hey, I like it. And even so Shark, one of the sharpest books out here. So it was the Bulls were down to -1. It's up to 1.5 with Shady with the 110. And how Pinnacle does it, that 110 is basically like a 115 to any other book. Like they're 110, and then they have the Bulls -1.5, 110. And then they have the Orlando +1.5, +100. So they're saying, if you want Orlando, come and bet them here. Like, we're going to give you no juice. You know what I'm saying? We want the Magic money here. So I think that's what I follow, one of the sharpest books. Like you say, I always go and do my homework. I look at the past matchups, how these teams match up against each other, the lineups. I go and look at that. Then the icing on the cake is I'm going to be looking to see where the money comes in, where the line is moving towards. A lot of times it may not make a difference, but sometimes it may have me playing more confidently on one side or another. But yeah, I think that the Bulls, they could be primed here, because one thing, they got down by double digits and they always fought back. They had a chance. They came and tied it up late seconds in their game, and just didn't end up making the late shots, had to foul. That's how they end up losing by 4. But their game really could have went either way. I like the Bulls to bounce back today.
Yeah, I mean, I think just a loose comment, I think Zach LaVine in the fourth quarter kind of has like a Devin Booker in him. He can be totally out of the game, and then all of a sudden just flips a switch in the fourth quarter, and the game just completely flips. So I think, as you said, there's always that element. This is never a spot, especially with Orlando. Look at a lot of Orlando spots. I know you had Charlotte in that spot that they did cover the -2 by 1 point. Orlando completely fell off the grid in the fourth quarter. And I noticed a lot of Orlando's home games, they play 3 quarters. It's not necessarily 1 through 3 and they fall off a cliff in the fourth. Sometimes they fall off a cliff in the second or the first. They play 3 quarters of basketball. And as an opponent, you're going to catch them napping for 12 minutes. And I think that could be the gap that would win this game for the Bulls and cover the spread.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened yesterday. LaVine got hot in the fourth quarter. He's hitting threes. We know he's one of those players that, he's a pure shooter, man. He's shoot like 500 to 1,000 shots with his dad every night, man. I love that stuff, man. I love that. You got a guy that shows that he wants to be in the NBA from a young age. He's supposed to be here. I feel like players like that are supposed to be here. But my guy, let's get to it. Let's go to another guy. I want to go to this Raptors versus Hawks game, because I see you didn't have a play on that game, man. I was kind of down, man, when I see you didn't have anything going. I know it's a big question mark with Trey here. I know the Raptors have owned them, won 10 straight games versus the Hawks. A little different situation here. This is a different Hawks team than years past. Different Raptors team as well, bro. What are we doing here?
I'm just worried. Like I said yesterday, the Celtics are highly unpredictable. You just can't figure this team out when they're going to show up. And the Raptors are kind of like that for me too. I just, I watch your show every day. Of course, we're going to start, coming together a lot more frequently, and I can't wait to do it. But Junior made a good comment. Sometimes you just don't know what's going on with a team. It's just like a kryptonite team That's the Raptors for me. I don't know. And, also when I did the comment before, they are a continuous buy. I mean, this team is way better than they started the season. They were like 6 or 7 games under 500. And again, if you really assume that they're probably going to have like somewhere around a 52 to 58% winning percentage when all is said and done, they are going to cluster wins. Just as much as they clustered losses, to get back up to that expected average, they have to cluster wins. So they're going to have to back up wins with wins. It's not just like, oh, they won yesterday, they're going to lose today. No, they're going to cluster. And all that being said, of course, Trae Young's out. That adds a funky element. But the one thing that P. Diddy does not do, he does not travel to the Toronto locker room. Toronto has a forbidden, I think it might be partially COVID related coming out of Canada. They don't want to have the intrusion of the American COVID virus in their locker. I don't know what it is. But this group, it just doesn't apply. They don't necessarily play down to teams. Look at what happened last night. Most teams, when Kevin Durant is not in, then he comes in, and then he goes back out, most teams would lose that game because the other team would be more scattered trying to focus, like, who am I playing against? And Toronto just took care of business. I think Toronto is just one of those teams that you just really can't fade in these spots. And again, Atlanta is just a tough take for me here, especially at this number. We talked about this last night. These teams are very similarly graded. They have a very similar record and point differential per game. At home, off rest, and a loss. You'd like to see the Hawks be laying 2.5, 3 points here. I don't know if Trae Young's worth 7 to 8 points. So even without Trae Young, I think he's probably only worth maybe 4 to 5. I think this is still showing maybe 2 points of strength towards Toronto. So again, I might lean Toronto, but I just total no play for me here.
Gotcha. I couldn't talk you off that. This is one where we were talking last night. I told you that I like the Hawks and the Grizzlies, two of the sharpest sides today. So I know you're all over the Grizzlies. That was the other one that I liked there. The Hawks, they hadn't been playing good. The Grizzlies is probably a tick sharper than this one. The Hawks, they're coming off 3 straight home losses against a lot better teams. You got the Lakers, who, I mean, you can't. So if the Hawks come in here and play this game like they did versus the Lakers, I think they'll win handily. The Lakers game, if you remember, they were in that game late. The Lakers end up late covering the game with some late free throws or whatever. But the Hawks were legitimately finna win that game. You can look at it as a letdown. The last one, the next one versus the Mavs, which we know that was an absolute must-win spot for the Mavs coming off 6 straight losses. The Luka versus Trae Young dynamic. We have that Luka pretty much owns them every time they play. But even that was a close game. Then versus Jazz without Trae Young, you can't really harm them getting smacked in that one by 21 points. The Jazz are just, I mean, they're with 14-1 ATS last 15 games. You can't argue that out. 4-game homestand. You could argue that this is the easiest chance that they have at getting their best chance at getting a win. The line says that Trae won't play, in my opinion, because I really thought that the Hawks could have been favored in this spot. I know it's crazy to say, but especially with it being a back-to-back and the rest factor pointing their way, we didn't get that because I know we were kind of guessing what the line would be last night. I know we saw it at that +6. I was just, that shit was just, it didn't make me laugh, but I was just like, what the hell is going on? There was
I was shocked. I was absolutely shocked.
It came down immediately, 5.5. It came down to 4. It was 4.5 this morning. It's down to 4. So I mean, it doesn't shock me the fact that it's coming down. I think this is a winnable game for the Hawks, bro. This one thing I always look at when a team is on a homestand, 4 or 5 game homestand, they've lost every single game so far. That last game, you're giving it your all. Like you don't want to lose every single game at the house. Like on a 4-game homestand, it's gonna be really tough to go on 4 there to swallow that pill. I mean, you got fans in the arena in Atlanta. They're a hot city. You got the Migos. I know you like listening to music, bros. They got the Migos, you know what I'm saying, in the building. You can't be losing or getting your ass kicked in front of Quavo and them. They got their ice, you know what I'm saying? Hey, I'm trying to be like them boys. I'm messing with you, man. But I really do think it's a winnable game for the Hawks, man. It's crazy to say, but with or without Trae, this is one where if Trae Young doesn't play, Shark, I hope that P. Diddy comes through to hot Atlanta with Ciroc on ice for this one, hopefully. And they got a good backup point guard in Rajon Rondo. Look at this Hawks team. So, Shark, there's one thing I wanted to say because I know that that the Raptors are a championship caliber team. They have Kyle Lowry, Fred VanVleet over there, Siakam. They got some ballers. So I still think that this team is going to them taking a step back this year.
Hold on.
Motorsport.
Yeah. Yeah, play it, man, for the Hawks. Hey, you need that. Yeah, hey, we need that in here. Yeah, we can do music on here. We do whatever we want. We do whatever we want on here, man. This is my channel. We doing whatever. Copyrights, none of this. Like, we're gonna need them boys tonight, man. But I'm just looking at the squad. So we're looking at the squad. So they still could have Rondo coming there running the show if Trae Young is out, which we know he's still a starting point guard in this league. Won't have the 3-point shooting from Trae Young, but still. They got Huerter, Cam Reddish, John Collins, Capella. Capella could really present some problems for Baines, or you know, because we know that the Raptors, their center play is not superb whatsoever. Boucher really should be their starting center, if you ask me. But that's really brought up the Raptors. Their team is not as deep this year, and losing Ibaka is one of the main reasons why they're not as good. They can't defend those other fives like that. What do you think about that?
No, I agree with you 100%. I'm not necessarily off the Hawks tonight. It's more so just the number is really disagreeable for me. I need to see them favored in this spot, even without Trae. And the personnel stuff, I couldn't agree more with you on that. So done and done. Let's listen to some more Migos.
Gotcha. Hey, I need the Migos to come through tonight, man, and perform at halftime. That's what I need them to do. Maybe we see PD. Yeah, see the Knicks. Are you watching this game? Knicks up by 10.
I had Knicks first half privately. I thought it was a great fade of the Ciroc Blazers win, and also a great corollary for that first half. And I didn't post it. I posted it in my private chat. The last matinee the Knicks played at home, they called it Magic Napping, and that was a similar spot. The Magic had been in the New York area over a weekend, and they played a matinee at 1 o'clock, and they blew them out in the first half. Same thing here. Philly, New York, Brooklyn, all the same quarter, the 95 quarter in the Northeast. What you ask yourself, what has Portland been doing for the last, day and a half after that win? A lot of dead zone time, a lot of, whatever they're doing, they're quarantining, probably even worse. If they were going out to dinner, if they were in the nightclub, it's probably better for their energy. I thought that was a really nice spot for the Knicks. And the Knicks are also just a first half juggernaut in all environments. So that was a nice hit, but, did not post it on Twitter, unfortunately.
Yeah, man, you gotta add me into that chat, man. You add me into that grab. I bet it's a sharp chat.
Absolutely.
Add me in, man. No problem.
That's why I hit up that Follow Friday yesterday with all the big dogs. You know what I mean? We got to spread this wealth a little bit,
Yeah, man. I want to be a big dog too, man. Add me in the chat, man. Hey, Nets Bets. What's up, my guy? Jay Money can talk hoops 16 hours a day. Yeah, I ain't gonna do 16 hours. Just come on here for 30 minutes with my guy, man. Now, me and him, we might come on here and do this. We might go on at night or some shit. Whenever my guy tell me he cool with it, we might go on at nighttime and break off some games before the day before or something, man. But whenever he get, we got the StreamYard set up now. We got the YouTube. So I mean, hey, is it something? We up now, listening to music, all that. It's me and my guy. It's our show. We're gonna have a little show. We got to come up with a name like Shark and J Money or some shit like. Let me see. We got to come up. We're gonna collaborate on something.
We gotta figure out some sort of fun word usage, you know what I mean? Like I always say, Shark and Waters Nation is the station of domination. And
that's it right there.
We gotta get in the. I don't know. We'll figure something out. But you want to go on to the next one? We got Bucks, Cavs, small commentary there. Did you have anything on this one?
I don't. I to be honest with you, I wanted to look towards the Cavs here on this next day on that quick revenge spot. The Cavs damn near covered that whole game. The Bucks have been rolling now. They could just literally come out here and throttle them, but the Cavs, they really present a couple of matchup. Like when you have Drummond or Allen in the game, it's really tough for Giannis to get all the way to the hole. So I feel like they have a couple of rim protectors like the whole game. They kept that game close. They really was up. They were leading that game, and then it was just a terrible fourth quarter, 29-16. That was the game right there. I mean, they were favored by 10.5. So 29-16, that's the reason why they won by 18 points. It really wasn't indicative of the whole game. Cavs kept it up with them boys. It's a little scary here, but they should get Nance back today as well. I just always wait with these games to the last minute to see if anybody's out. Sexton, because he was questionable yesterday in the play. He could possibly be out or something. It could really shake things up. Or possibly Giannis could be out. But yeah, I'll definitely lean towards the Cavs here with how well they played yesterday. Double digits at the house in that quick revenge spot.
Yeah. These particular matchups going back last year and the year before as well, when the Bucks play the Cavs and the Pistons, the line is almost the same line every single game. It's somewhere between 10.5 and 14.5, depending on home court advantage. And it always comes down to one or two buckets. Like, it is so sharp. And I think if you're going to bet this game, you really have to hone in on a quarter or a half, because you know how the Bucks play. They're going to turn up for like 12 minutes, blow you out, and then chill. And I think, just as a very loose comment, you see the dynamic often shift night to night. The Bucks did come out very poorly yesterday. Mm-hmm. I think you could see them come out with a renewed focus in the first half today to try to just be able to rest down the stretch. And I do think, as a large-scale comment, you do see that in back-to-backs too, where a team will come out in the second leg of the back-to-back well in the first half, understanding they don't have 48 minutes of energy, and they want to just rip you quick and then chill out in the second half. So I think if I had to say anything, probably not a play, I would probably take Bucks first half here and probably expect a melt late, and Cleveland could cover this one.
Exactly. Yeah, and I could definitely see that too. That's why we gotta keep doing this show, man. Sharp. That's one of the sharpest ways that you can look at basketball, man. The Bucks have won 3 straight, covered 3 straight. They're starting a little road trip here. So it's the second game in Cleveland. The next game you'll have in Denver. So it'll be third game in 4 nights in Denver. So we'll be interested to see if they take their foot off the gas a little bit here. I can only look towards the Cavs here, full game plus the 10. I can only look towards that way here. Like I said, they really played them close yesterday. What you gonna say?
So Milwaukee's at Denver tomorrow.
No, they couldn't do that. It will be third game. It will be 3 days in three games in 3 days. No, it's on the 8th. So it's on Monday. So so they played last night, then tonight, and then the next one will be on Monday. So but it still be a 3rd and 4th for them in Denver. So
back to that base game. Okay, right. Exactly. And that could even give more credential to what I'm saying. They want to just get this game out of the way. First half, let's go out 72-51, and then just sit in the second half.
Yeah, I can definitely see it. Oh, Portland making a little push now. I can definitely see it. Yeah, no, it's just a little. They got it down to 6 now. So, but yeah, I want to talk about this. I want to talk about that Timberwolves OKC game. I want to know because I know you like OKC, but bro, they only had 8 guys, and so I was on the Timberwolves yesterday. Got a little lucky, whatever. I mean, they needed to come through, but like the main thing was that the Thunder, they are a better team. They play like they have a light years better coach. They play better defense. They play harder. The Timberwolves, they're just out there playing basketball. But OKC, they only had 8 players yesterday. We know SGA was still out. Dort was out. I mean, they only had 8 bodies. I had that when Theo Maledon was out as well. I had to hop on Timberwolves there. It was just a bargain there. Went up to -3, closed at 2.5, ended up winning by 3. Now we have the back-to-back spot here for OKC at the house. They're laying the 1. They are the better team. They play harder, but I had to tell you, bro, if they still got 8 guys out there again, I don't see how they get it done, man. Tell me what you like.
Well, truthfully, I don't really watch a lot of Thunder basketball in this 2021 campaign, and I also don't watch a lot of Timberwolves basketball in this 2021 campaign. This is the low of the low, really. However, I think when you look at the number, oftentimes I'll look at how a dynamic plays in terms of another matchup where Vegas had the same dynamic and they scaled the line the same. I take you back to that Charlotte at Orlando back-to-back, where, again, you had Charlotte correctly in the first game -2, and they won by 3 points. This is identical. Orlando in the second game laid 1 point, and they blew them out. Yesterday, the Timberwolves laid 2 points and won by 3, and now OKC lays 1 point. It is the identical weighting, and I think it tells a great story. And, when you really zoom out and you look at NBA players, it's the highest level of professional basketball in the world. These guys are almost robots. This is why people say it's rigged. It's not rigged. They're just very well-refined minds and bodies. They play to very sustained averages. And when Vegas moves an average noticeably, you can really buy into that. And I think it really speaks to what you said. Revenge game at home. Minnesota's highly unsustainable. Thunder are way better coached. Better coaching speaks to psychology more than anything. It means they're going to be focused in the locker room coming in here. They don't want to get beat twice by essentially D'Lo and a bunch of scrubs. And I think the number really correlates perfectly. And I think Oklahoma City wins the game.
God, hey, I couldn't talk you out. I couldn't talk you out of it. It's just I would need one of those players back, man, because I really feel like that having the 8 players and with the spot that I was fading them in last night could potentially get even worse tonight if every single one of those players out. Once again, I know SGA is doubtful. Maladon is out with health and safety protocols, so he might be out for a little while. I know Dort is back. Question, I mean, he could actually be huge. He's one of the best defenders in the league. Like I look at Dort as, I'm not gonna say no offense because his offense has been coming along, but he's literally one of the best defenders in the league, hands down. We saw that as a rookie.
He's a sick athlete. He's really fucking strong and fit, really.
Yeah, dude's a freak of nature, man. Like he built like LeBron or something. The Timberwolves, I can't. I mean, so you don't look now. Timberwolves covered 4 straight games, man. They almost beat the Spurs. They played a really good game versus Spurs. They had to do everything. The Spurs had to come back from 15 in the fourth quarter. So it's tough to see that from the Wolves that they can allow that. They were up 94-79 in the fourth quarter and lost that game 111 to 108. So it's tough to see that. I think it may have been the third quarter, but still, they were up 15 late in that game. And to lose that one was just terrible. They still covered the spread. They only lost by 2 by Cleveland. They beat Cleveland at the house, then went in a revenge fight at Cleveland and showed some heart there. Only really could have won that game, only lost by 2. So the Timberwolves are really starting to show something. I know a lot of people don't really watch them, or they're not necessarily one of those better teams in the league, but I still think that like on certain nights they have something to show. Russell, he was like the worst player on the court yesterday. He ended up hitting the game winner for him, but plus minus wise, he was the worst player on the floor, or one of them. Not Beasley was the worst player, but Russell kind of came back in their fourth quarter, but Malik Beasley was the one that was balling for him. He was through 3 quarters. He was the best player on the team. He ended up leading them with 24 points. Then Russell had 21. Okagi didn't start the second half. Anthony Edwards been coming along. When you got Rubio coming off the bench, I think could still be a starting point guard in this league. That's good. Vanderbilt's always going to give you some. So just OKC, now that they're starting to, I don't think that OKC is as good as they've been playing. I know they're a really good coach team, but when it's that type of team that's missing bodies, I really don't feel like they can afford to. But you said, I mean, they are the light years better coach team than the Timberwolves. Like the Timberwolves are just basically like a G League team with NBA players on there, but they don't really play for one another. There's no real plays being run out there. So I'll agree they're not a bet on team, but they did take care of me yesterday. This is one of those things where if OKC just has those 8 players, I feel like it could even be more a fatigue spot than last night. But the Timberwolves didn't even have the mindset to go drive them in the hole. Like those guys end up with like 2 fouls. Like maybe, I know at halftime, one guy had 2 fouls for the OKC and the other one had 1. Like they're not even driving in the hole. It's almost like that Mavericks game, Shark, with against the Warriors when they didn't have any centers, but yet the Mavs are shooting all threes. You know what I'm saying? So but that's what I want to.
I think last point on that, again, we always talk about sustainable averages. Minnesota's 4-0 against the spread last 4. Are they going to run off a 10-20 game clip against the spread? Probably not. And that's a great fate. I mean, just even that statistic, forget the roster, forget the players, just the statistic. And, a second point on that, you really look at what they did against Cleveland in the back-to-back spot. They won the first one, lost the second one. And, you have a 3rd and 4 here, road back-to-back. They played a lot of games. They're going to be fatigued mentally and physically as well. So I think I trust the number and I trust the dynamic, and I think Oklahoma City is a very solid take here.
Gotcha. Yeah, I can't talk you off, man. I couldn't talk you off. I know you a sharp guy. I know you on the you on OKC. Nobody can talk you off. It's a game I'll be watching. I'll be interested to see what's happening. I know sometimes I'll just watch the game to see who's played, maybe look at a second half and they'll win. And like I said, they could get some players back, but I'd hate to go against. But yeah, if they just got that 8 player, I had to take Timberwolves second half something in that one. I don't have to, but I'll look at it, man. It's just one from yesterday that I was looking at. OKC could possibly be on a downswing, especially with them missing their player. Like Maladon, a lot of people don't even know who he is. They're gonna miss him. Like literally, they're gonna miss Maladon. Side of SGA, he's like literally one of their best players. If you just watch him, not a household name, but he means a boatload to the team, just like Dort. But SGA, best player for sure. By far. Yeah, they would need PD to come out for SGA out, man. But let's talk about this Warriors versus Mavs, man. I don't know what it's in theory a revenge spot for the Mavs. I mean, they come off the big. I thought they were going to go on a run. This you talk about a team that's better than how they've been playing and who the averages should. You know what I'm saying? Who's built to go on a run? I do think that the Mavs are. They got all their players back now. The coaching has been sliding, man. Carlisle's a better coach than it. You know, if Pascal's out, Looney out, Wiseman out, and you shooting all these threes, nobody's posting up. Boban doesn't get in the game. Like Boban Marjanovic, he would have ate in their first game versus the Warriors. He would have been the tallest guy on the court by far. Just put him in the post every single time. Nobody can stop him. I don't know what happened. Porzingis wasn't posting up nothing.
No, I was going to say, I mean, I was watching the broadcast, and I forget who was on the call. It was, Shaq and Barkley. And they were talking about that exact point. Even when the Mavs were up in the first half, they won the first half 76-74 on a late three to cover, crazily enough. Steph Curry hit a three, and then they hit a three at the buzzer to cover. But they really weren't defending. They weren't doing anything. But schematically, Porzingis was hovering around the perimeter like he was literally a 6'4" guard. Exactly. And they were talking about it. Like, they were wondering, is this a Carlisle thing? Is this Porzingis after his injury not wanting to bang? But I mean, it's gotten to a point where it's like, bro, you're 7'4". They don't have a guy over 6'8" on the team. Just park under the hoop and throw it down to him. And not only that, think about how they can disrupt the Warriors' pace if they do that. They should be playing more in the half court to slow the Warriors down. I mean, dude, the Warriors are running like they're freaking in, the Olympic track meet, literally. 147 points, ball movement's insane. The Mavs scheme in the last game failed all logical points.
Exactly. Yeah. Now this game, and that's why I say, I mean, Carlisle's a damn good coach, but in that game, I'm just staying all the way away from the Mavericks. But I really don't know. It's the weirdest NBA season. Carlisle's a much better coach than that. The Mavs are a much better team than that. They got all their players back. There's absolutely no reason why that happens. I know. So you did mention something that I didn't even look at. That I think it was their 6th game in 8 days. That there was something that slipped past me. In that one, because in theory that makes it like a total Warrior spot, no matter who's playing. And that's one where I kind of want to talk about. Like sometimes, like Vegas knows. So Vegas knows that, right? So they know that money's gonna come in on the Mavericks. It's a must-win spot, whatever. But they know it's 6 game in 8 days. Like no matter if Wiseman sits or Looney out, now Pascal's out, which a lot of people look at that, then they'll hop on the Mavericks. But it didn't matter. If it's a 6 in 8 days and the Warriors from the run, they're gonna run them out of the gym. That's exactly what happened. I mean, that second half got super ugly. In theory, the Mavs here in a better spot, more rested at the house, off of their rest at the, you know what I'm saying? When you got to practice, pissed off over getting your teeth kicked in. In theory, this is a Mavs spot here with all their guys back. In theory, they should look at here, Charles, Shaq, all that. Somebody got you had to put Boban in the game. I know a lot of teams don't match up where he doesn't match up. This is one game where they'd be all right, man, just because literally he could go for 30 points. Put him in the post every time. He can just turn around and put the ball in. Like he doesn't even have to jump to dunk the ball. Like literally, he just get on his tippy toes. You can't tell me that's not a matchup for disaster for this Warriors team. He won't be able to run the floor like that, but rebounds, he's gonna get everyone. You pass the ball to him in the post every single time, bro. Why can't I be the coach, man? But Powell, Porzingis, somebody has to get. They didn't have a player over 6'6" in the game, the whole game. Draymond Green, their starting center, man. Come on, bro. No Pascal either. The Mavs have to get this one done. They have to, or Carlisle's really going to start to get questioned. I know he won the championship with him over there, but now it's a lot of stuff is just starting to come down to coaching, man. Defense. Work on defense, man. Luka, y'all got to get in shape, man. Porzingis, I don't want to see you. I know you're hitting those catch and shoot threes, but you got to get in the post too, bro. Y'all got to play some defense. As Mavs are nothing for me in this one. I want to go to one more game, my guy, before we get out of here.
One more comment on that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Something people haven't mentioned is the Mavericks have not won a home game in almost a month.
Mm-hmm.
I think they've lost 7 in a row at Dallas. And, I mean, it gets to a point where I always say, I just said it before, they're not going to lose 25 straight home games. They're just not. Even if they're the worst team on the planet, they're pro athletes. So at some point, they're going to win. And again, this is a pretty damn strong number. If you really look at the records, I mean, they're 2-7 at home and they're 9-14 overall, laying 4 points to the 12-10 Warriors who are 500 on the road. I mean, when you really look at all the points, you made a lot of points. And, obviously this point, additionally, to say that this is a great take for the Mavericks, the only problem I have here is just there seems to be like an out-of-the-box element with this group where they just are not in a position to cover these numbers. Like, I don't trust it at all. Like, I would never take the money line. I think the money line is like minus 165 or something, maybe a little less, 150. But this reminds me of a game where I think the Mavericks will win, but the 4 is just so difficult. I can see this 1, 2, 3, or 4 right there.
Yeah, I can see that happening. I'm one to think if the Mavs gonna win this game, they got to win by margin. They got to come out here and win one of these games by margin. I'm talking about 10 plus points at the house. You got to put your foot down in one of these games. You literally got to show me something. I like the Mavs here. I love the Mavs here. I'm not taking them. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I cannot take the Mavs right now. This is one team that I've lost the most money on today, and no Leandro Russell tonight so that definitely bodes well for OKC for sure. No Russell. He was pretty bad last night, but they did need him. Timberwolves are one of those type of teams where they can miss players. Russell's their best player by now. Like, I'll probably be on OKC if I'll probably take OKC with him being doubtful now. Like, no lie. I want to see somebody else come in. I want to see SGA or Dort come back in. But I don't like with the 8 players, but without Russell, that's an OKC spot. But we didn't talk about the Grizzlies versus Pelicans, did we?
No, we did not.
Yeah, that's one of the main ones that we like today, man. Let's talk. I want to hear you on this one because you going double dip on this one. Why do we like the Grizzlies today?
Well, I think it's we always talk about this. It's the spot you want to fade. You have the Pelicans coming in here, 3rd game in 4 nights, road home back-to-back, off of what was a really solid road win last night. And I made the comment on Twitter. Somebody asked me about it, and I said, the Indiana spot was not actually a total random spot on the road. It was a revenge game. Indiana did beat New Orleans in New Orleans at, I believe, the Smoothie King Center. And they went on the road last night. They were pissed off. They played a great game. They had a great first half. They melted a little bit, but they actually, came through with it. And if you look at how the Pelicans have played in these spots, not a lot of spots, but there was one specific home game that I really correlated this to. It was against the Rockets. And they were coming off a very competitive game the night before, and they just laid down completely. And it was on the same number. Vegas has the Rockets and the Grizzlies equally graded. They have very similar records. They have very similar point differentials. And I think if you really look at it, it checks all the boxes. The Grizzlies have been misgraded on the road. You saw how Vegas had them graded at the Spurs twice. They were dogs both times. They handled business both times. And we always talk about coaching. The coach of the Grizzlies, I honestly don't have the name off the top of my head. I know he's an Ivy League guy. He went to UPenn. He's a real strong motivator. He's a smart guy. And I like to put my money behind guys like that. I went to an Ivy League school myself. Not necessarily a biased thing. I'm one of the dumber people to ever come out of an Ivy League school. There are some smart-ass people there. And trust me, UPenn, Wharton Business School, Psychological Master, these guys know how to motivate their players. They know how to push different buttons. Some guys need to be yelled at. Some guys need to be coddled, adjustable motivations. I think that he's got a grip on this group. I think it's a great fate of the Pelicans in terms of the 3rd and 4, emotional letdown. And I also just like the way this number functions by Vegas as it crosses with how Houston was graded at New Orleans in the exact same spot about a week and a half ago.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, man. You said something there. Some guys need to be cuddled. Some guys need to be yelled at. That was crazy, man. But this is a Grizzly spot, man. I didn't even expect the number to be this low, to be honest with you. And I really feel like that's really showing the way that the Pelicans have been playing. Only 1.5 here at the house. The Grizzlies had won 6 or 7. They had won 7 straight games. Even went through a COVID breakdown through that and still came back smacking, which really shows me a lot. They even came back off of the quarantine, like smacked the Spurs by 17 and then 30. It showed me a ton, man. So them losing the last 2 games versus the Pacers and the Rockets, those 2 teams just match up well versus them. You know what I'm saying? The Grizzlies, like I say, the way that their style of play really could hurt the Pelicans. They're coming off a huge game last night. I mentioned something on my show that Valanciunas is coming back tonight, and I don't want to see him in the starting lineup. I want to see Xavier Tillman still in the starting lineup. We need Valanciunas to play, but I can't stand when the coaches, like you said, the coaches should be smart enough to know that Valanciunas come back right in the starting lineup will mess things up, mess up their continuity. He's not in shape right now, coming off the COVID health and protocol shutdown. So just ease him. What I've been seeing teams do is they're bringing guys right back in the starting lineup immediately instead of easing them to the rotation, man. Ease them in. They're not even all the way back ready to play full game speed, and you have them starting. I would really hate to see Valanciunas starting in this lineup tonight. I need to see Xavier Tillman to keep that same lineup they've been going. Bring Valanciunas off the bench. He could even close the game, see how well he is conditioning-wise. But just to start things off, I need to see the same start lineup that I have been, just so I know the continuity's there. Everything's there. Everybody's locked in. You see what I'm saying? Tillman, he's been playing well. He's not as good as Valanciunas, not as good offensively, but defensively, he's possibly even better than Valanciunas. So I like the way the Grizzlies been playing. They're off a couple of losses after winning 7 straight. I do think they're a better team, better coach. They play harder, play better defense than the Pelicans. Looking at the matchups, I like the matchups across the board. Their bench, the Grizzlies really actually have the better bench here, in my opinion. JJ Redick, he's really like the Pelicans aren't even really playing him as much right now because they're trying to trade him. I saw him play 16 minutes the last game, man. They're coming back they had a 5-game homestand, 1 game on the road. You barely win that game versus Indiana. Now you come back 3rd game before night. I like the Grizzlies in the spot, especially where they get up and down the floor, play hard defense, hard nose. It surprised me to see them lose 3 in a row here. I'm riding the Grizzlies with you, my guy. Let's catch. I'm not on the first half, but full game Grizzlies. I'm on it. Let's cash it.
I took the first half just because I was looking at what it's all dynamics. But last night Pelicans played a really good first half on the road, and they come home now, and it's just kind of the flip flop environment where it's hard to back up a really good first half with another good first half. And when I was looking at how Memphis came out at the Spurs twice, both were really good first halves. And also the number is short. It's shorter than the actual game figure. 1.5 game, a half first half. Obviously just doing quick division, it should be 0.75. There's not 0.75. It's either a half or 1, but that makes a difference. If it's 1, it's showing 2/3 strength towards the home team. This is showing 2/3 strength towards the road team. They really connects with all the boxes.
Exactly, man. I like it, and it opened up at 2 down to 1.5, so some money on it as well. Like I say, I think this game. I think it's a Grizzlies type spot. They're pissed coming off 2 straight losses. John Moran, even on Twitter, is saying, hey, 12, you got to be better. So you got one team coming off 2 straight losses, other one 2 straight wins. I don't think that the Pelicans have been playing a lot better now. They won 2 straight, lost 2 straight, then won 2 straight. But like with them losing to teams like the Kings, I really feel like if they were on a roll and getting better, that they really would have challenged the Rockets better than they did, which they didn't. We know the Rockets were hot right then. But the Kings, that was one of the where I know the Kings were kind of hot, but I feel like the Pelicans, I was looking at the game like if the Pelicans are back, if they're back, then this is one of the ones where they will get, and they lost to the Kings. So I'm like, the Grizzlies are one of those type teams like the Kings are actually a whole lot more hard-nosed. They push the ball up and down. They got a lot of young guys out there, but the Grizzlies are a lot more hard-nosed defensive-wise. So they play harder for their coach, a lot better coach than the Kings are. So if they struggle with the Kings, Grizzlies should come in here and get this one. One more. I just want to speak a few things about this last game, bro, because we see this. So the Pistons beat the Lakers last time, my guy, and then AD wasn't in that game. I saw him get downgraded to questionable in this game. He was probable, now downgraded to questionable. We know what that probably means. If AD is out, do you think there's value on the Pistons, or you think that the Lakers will still want to come out here and smack them up after losing to them in Detroit?
Oh, man, this is just where I run. I mean, I hate games like this. I really do. Big numbers, really sketchy motivation. They just beat down the Nuggets. I mean, that's potentially a West Finals preview type of game. But then, as you said, they did lose on the road. So you get both dynamics. You get the letdown from the Nuggets game, but then you get the motivation from the revenge spot. And then at that point, you're literally coin flipping in the mind of these guys. Which one are they going to choose? What's more important? And I just do not know. I really don't know.
No, I'm with you on that. I was looking towards, because I know Detroit matched up really well with them that first time. This time, it looks like Griffin might sit here. Wayne Ellington is questionable, possibly out here as well. I know Okafor, he doesn't play a ton of minutes, but Ellington is a starter, and they might miss Blake Griffin in a game like this. I'm with you. It's nothing on me. AD it's out. I still couldn't look at the Lakers, but I'm one thing I'm getting away. Getting away from betting against these the top tier teams in the league, man. I don't give a damn what spot it is. The Nuggets spot was a total spot, and you could see that they really came and did what they really was supposed to do and come out and smash them. So congrats to the Lakers backers, man. I still don't think they'll be going balls to the wall all season like they have been, but that in itself is surprising to me to see a team coming off a championship early this year that it came out openly admitting that they didn't want to play early this year, still coming out balls to the wall. No real rest games for LeBron or AD really. They're questionable every game, but they've been playing. That's surprising to me. It is. In these games that don't mean anything, that's very surprising. Like, we never see that in today's NBA, and to go back to see that, like, I don't know what the hell we're doing.
It's actually so high. It's kind of interesting because obviously, Popovich was the one that started load management 10 years ago, 15 years ago. But LeBron was really the first player to embrace load management going back about 8-10 years. Actually, a little bit later, but with the Heat and whatnot. And then he was the first player, once he had set the standard, to come off the standard and kind of go back to, no, like, the regular season matters. I want to show the fans the product. I want a ball. I want to silence the haters. And, I know LeBron doesn't listen to the media and let the media dictate what he's doing, but the media was chirping him intensely for this load management crap. And he's setting a new standard. And I mean, I'm not like a LeBron fan from the standpoint he's on my squad or like I get behind him, but I respect the hell out of LeBron. I think he's a hell of a player, hell of a mind, hell of a family man. I think it's a great thing for the game to reset this standard where hopefully we can get through this load management stuff. Because let's be perfectly honest, 82 basketball games out of 365 days in the year, that's only one game every 4 days. I'm 35 years old. I work out 5 days a week. Trust me, it's not that damn hard. And these guys coast 3 out of 4 games. I mean, this is like a YMCA style of game. You know what I mean? The impact is not there. This is not professional football. So I think it's good to see that. One comment, though, I do want to make. I just looked it up. The game in Detroit, the Lakers were on a back-to-back. I think it was a 3rd and 4. So that was a dead zone spot for them. They fell off the grid in the second half big. And now you actually get Detroit here on a back-to-back. They played at Phoenix last night. Interesting point here when you look at the number again. The Lakers only laid 7 points in Detroit, and they're laying 13 and a half here. That's 6.5 points. It should move 2.5, 3. That's probably 3.5 to 4 points of strength to the Lakers. And I think because they came out so flat against the Nuggets in the first game off a long trip, you might get a bloodbath blowout Lakers first half here tonight.
Exactly. In theory, it should be. It's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be a lot of moving parts, obviously, because AD could possibly get ruled out again. That'll throw as far as like the line wise, the line will come down. It's not saying the Lakers could still go out there and smash them, especially if they're pissed. But you are right. The spot flips to being a Lakers spot now. It just all boils down. The reason why I don't bet these games, it all boils down to motivation. If they're motivated enough to smack their team, in theory, on paper, they should win this game by 30. But that's not always the case. That's why bookies are, are bookies, because some games just not as easy as it looks. I don't have anything on. Even if AD sits, I'm not betting this shit. Pistons, even though they're in a terrible spot, all 3 of those games were terrible, so they hadn't won any one of them. I'm one to think, even when it's a bad spot and you've been getting your ass, like when you get blown out versus Phoenix last night, like, you got smacked, so it wasn't a close game. Theory, everybody didn't play regular minutes. You got your ass handed to you. So when you come out those losses, the spot isn't necessarily the same because you, like I said, you've been losing. But I'm not betting this, man. I would want to lean.
I'm just looking at the dynamic here. Okay, so Detroit went on the road January 30th. So this is a week ago. They got blown out against the Dubs. They got blown out at Utah, and they got blown out at Phoenix. Now you get the big number with the Lakers, and you get, as I said, you get the reactionary buyback effect from an awful first half against the Nuggets. The Lakers might throttle them here in the first half. Just another one of those just blowout spots. I mean, I don't know.
Right. Yeah. You know what scares me in the game like this? The Pistons have been playing hard and they never give up. It was a game in Utah, and right now I think that Utah is better. I'm not gonna. They're not. There's 2 different teams, but right now Utah's playing better basketball than the Lakers. Like scarier basketball, a lot scarier. The Jazz were smacking the Pistons up by like 30 at the half. The Pistons come all the way back in their second half, and it could have been as part of the Jazz taking their foot off the gas. They came back and covered that game. Like, no lie. They came back and lost by 12. A lot of people pushed, but if you laid 12.5 with the Jazz there, you lost. And I'm sure, like, people that turned the game out was like, what the hell happened? The Pistons never give up. That's what happened versus the Lake the first game. They were in that game, and then the second half, that's why they got away. It was a look ahead. It was a sandwich spot for the Lakers. That's why the rest AD, they had a big game ahead. So it's a totally different spot, but I don't know, man. Sometimes teams, like, they know that they can hang. They already beat the Lakers. Like, I don't think they'll lay down here. They could get blown out, but I don't think they'll lay down. They played 3 tough teams already, which Warriors aren't super tough, but they just came out there and smacked. They didn't have anybody to keep up with Curry. So if you don't have anybody to keep up with Curry, if you don't have a point guard that can keep up with him, fight through those screens, you're getting throttled. That's what's going to happen. So with this one is see if the Lakers play all their guys, I think they'll be motivated to come here and smack them. The way that I think, if they rest AD, I don't think they'll be totally invested for it. They still want to come in here and win, but as far as like having the mindset to want to come in here and smash them by 40, I think it would be like we come and bring the full squad for this. Sometimes these rests, you kind of tell it's just not a serious game for. I'm not betting this game, man. We're spending time on it. You want to recap them with your plays, my guy, before we get out of here?
Yeah, absolutely. The top spot, I think you and I aligned. Memphis, I have first half. We both have game plus 1.5. Playing Denver -3 at 5 o'clock. Talked about the reason behind that. Oklahoma City, hat on, cash up, please. And I also have San Antonio first half -0.5. We didn't talk about this particular game, but I do think that San Antonio has had 3 straight pathetic first halves at home. They really were lackluster the last 3. And I think you get Houston coming in here back to their home stadium off of a really good representative game. And I think San Antonio really connects the boxes, liking to come out well on the road in the division off of a sequence of poor first halves at home. And I believe there was maybe one – no, was that it? I think that was it, right? That was 5?
Yeah, that was it, man. Let's see. Yeah, you said so. OKC up to -2 now. Yep, you said Grizzlies first half full game.
Yeah.
Yep. Hey, some nice spots, man. Some nice spots. Yeah, I might ride with you. I'm waiting on the injury part. I'm just waiting for Murray, and I'm definitely riding with Nuggets. But I know you like it regardless. Murray could be out, and it could be some rock on the ice, man. But definitely lean to the Nuggets for me. I lean the Bulls. All these leans I think they're the right side, but I hadn't bet it yet. Definitely think that the Nuggets right side, lean Bulls. Lean the Cavs there. I like that. It's a sharp look with you with the Spurs at first half there. They are coming off a long homestand, but it wasn't necessarily a good one. And the Rockets coming in first game off a long road trip. It's always a flat spot for them, especially in the first half. And in Houston, they might have could have went to some strip clubs or something, man. You never know. But I need to see what's up with OKC. Definitely lean there. I like the Hawks and the Grizzlies. Grizzlies would be the top one for me, and then the Hawks. Then everything else gonna fall in place, man. So I know what's up, but we got to do this more often, man. Look, you run the greatest basketball minds that I know, man. So when we put shit together, like that Grizzly spot is one of the sharpest of the sharp, man. In my opinion, I'd be really surprised if that one lost, bro.
Hell yeah. This is the beginning. I think it's going to be a hell of a campaign for us, and let's go forward the next 10 years and beyond, man. This is great stuff. Thanks to everybody who tuned in. We're going to promote this much better. It's going to be a lot more easy for you guys to access. So thanks for tuning in, Jay, you the man, and let's ride the wave, man.
Exactly. Ride the wave or get out of the water. Like you say, we're definitely more content coming you guys' way for sure, man. More content, more games. We're just trying to cash tickets, man. So we come out here talking. It's like just me and him rapping with each other, but you know what I'm saying? You guys get to see it, man. So we appreciate y'all. We were supposed to do 30 minutes, end up coming for an hour, just talking. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to go get something to eat, man. Go try to have a good time, man. Let's try to cash these games, bro. Like you always say, let's fucking go. Like you always say, bro, let's cash it. Ride the wave, get out of the water. It's the Shark and J Money, man. Shark Bank, Shark Tank, all that, man. We trying to get some cash, man. We're gonna holler at y'all, man. We out. Until next time, brothers.